Hello, everyone. This is Mark Potter, and welcome to Mark Isaac Potter Presents. Today, we're talking to Chris Frederick, a delightful human being from Northern Ohio. I'm from Northern Ohio, so I'm very excited to have Chris on the show. How are you today, Chris?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
All right. Uh, Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and what is your educational background?
So I've always lived in Northeast Ohio. Background, I
Okay.
went to Bowling, obviously high school and all that, but I went through Bowling Green State University, got a bachelor's degree from there,
Okay.
specialized. So bachelor's, I think they called it a bachelor's specialized in marketing back then.
Okay.
Okay, but that's really beyond that, and all my education from that point forward is mostly real estate based.
Okay. All right. Now, let's see. And you grew up around Northeast Ohio. What part necessarily did you grow up in?
Spent most of my time in North Ridgeville, Ohio.
Okay.
Okay,
And
which is Lorain County, just about 22 minutes west of Cleveland.
right. Okay. Now, I know you do real estate a lot, and we're going to talk later about your investments because we want to make sure and repeat the important things. What other activities do you enjoy outside of real estate?
Well, you got to be honest. I found during the pandemic, I think we found my yard again. Started doing more in the yard. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I cook. I got lots
All
of different
right.
items. I
All
got lots
right.
of different grills and pizza ovens and all that. So, and I never did that. Before the pandemic, I spent a lot of my time traveling, and it just kind of changed my way. But when I'm not working, I got a hot tub. I do that. I like to travel. I mean, travel,
Okay.
but I do less of it than I used to. I'm more comfortable in my home than I used to be.
What are some of the cool places you've traveled to?
Well, I got married in Key West. That's one of my more favorite places.
Okay.
That's kind of a place that really means a lot to me. I went to Japan last year. That's probably the coolest place I went to, I would
Okay.
probably say. But in the end, Toronto is my favorite city. So I probably even like it better than New York, Chicago, but I really think a lot of Toronto, and I can drive there in 5 hours. So I spend as much time there as I can also.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Tell us about how you got into real estate and how long you've been a realtor.
Well, essentially, I was probably born into it because both my parents were real estate agents. And I was
Okay.
sure I wasn't going to do that, so I went to
Yeah.
college, and there was no reason I thought I wasn't going to do it. It just, I thought I would do something else. And my mother always told me to get a real job, as she said, she would do a real job. And she said that way you can understand how difficult they are and how much you might really like doing this after you do it.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
father told me you're not doing anything but this, and so in the end, I really thought I'd go get a real job. And I went straight into real estate because what I was offered was I had to move to Chicago, leave my family, or do that, or what I was making didn't make sense. So real estate just called me. And then the minute I did it, I that's all it's been from that point forward. I was
Okay.
licensed in I think February of 1997.
All right. How many people do you think you've helped find a new home?
I sell about 200 homes a year.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I've been doing this for a
That's a
lot,
lot.
about 27, years or so. So
That's
it's in that
crazy.
range. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now you've got a pretty good operation over there. You've got a big team. How does your business run day to day?
Essentially, here, 1 second here. I can't do this. Sorry. People are coming in the room. I think we may
Okay.
have messed this up. I don't know what to do with this. So I tried to lock it. Um,
Just leave it. You just leave it. You
okay. Okay. So,
keep going. Keep
all right.
going.
Ask the question again if you
It's
can.
all good. All right. We're all good. How does your real estate business run day to day? I understand you have a pretty good sized staff.
So we really start off at about 7 a.m. in the morning. So 7 a.m. we
Okay.
wake up, we start returning the calls. I call it the fire drill. You get up and you figure out what all the things that went wrong the night before. They're usually in your email or text message, and you figure those out. We settle them out generally by 9 a.m. And then we get back to the normal stuff. Calling the
Okay.
regular customers, doing the showings, going to listing appointments, what needs to
Now
be happening.
I'm gonna keep the pace going because we only have 8 minutes total. We're gonna be posting your contact information on the screen during the show. You'll see it. You'll see it once it's published. Um, I understand you're involved in other aspects of real estate in addition to residential.
Yeah, very much so. So we started off as simply residential, but through the years before, we've always had investment properties. So in the sense of there is not a retirement in this business. So we bought income producing rental properties.
Okay.
That would be our retirement. So I was always doing that on the side. And I was dealing mostly in residential real estate. So we started to get into new construction, land development, apartment buildings, really just got into every aspect of it. And now we do about, on top of the typical residential real estate, we also help a lot of investors get into multifamily units and small apartments and such like that.
Okay.
Most of
Now
my, go on.
let's keep going because we're down to about 2 minutes here. What makes your real estate service special compared to others?
We are the oldest, largest real estate company in the United States. So we have a lot of tools. We also have a lot of the corporate military moves for the area. So we handle all the major companies and the military that are transferring people around. That gives us a leg up on much of the competition. But then on
Okay.
top of that, we're premier agents with Zillow. We cover all the aspects that we're supposed to do. We
Okay.
divide up our time a little bit. I handle more of the listing ends while my wife and my mother handle more of the buying end. So we can divide up duties that way to make
All
sure
right.
we're
Now,
meeting our clients' needs.
all right. Um, what steps can people take to be in touch with you when buying or selling a home or doing the other investments? We're going to have all your contact information on the screen, but I want to know what else can they do?
So the best way really to get me is my phone. It's always in my
Okay.
hand,
All
so
right.
it sits right here. But call
Yep.
or text is the fastest, and email would be the second best way.
All right. Okay, good. We're doing good. Now, Tim, I've got about 30 seconds before I have to close. Tell me your final thoughts here at the end of the show.
Well, I would greatly enjoy to help anybody, whether they're looking to sell a home, move, build, investments. I'm here and I'd love to help them with that. This is what we do. It's our passion.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Marc Potter Presents. We're visiting today with Chris Frederick, one of the nicest people I've met recently. And thank you
Thank
for
you for that.
watching the show. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yes.